with this issue or not? Do you think phobia is a reasonable thing or not?
Okay. Amireza.
I will
Okay.
do.
Okay. So I think phobia is a kind of mental disorder. Yes. The feeling of
Yeah.
fear of certain thing. For example, fear of height or fear of closed places. And it's I don't know what it means. I mean, I don't know if it's rational or unreasonable or not. I mean, it's a fear. So how is it supposed to be unreasonable?
Okay. Can it be considered as an issue? I mean, a mental issue, mental problem.
Yes, yes, of course. It's a mental problem. You know, it's related to our mind. I mean, we think that we are afraid of something, and that becomes a true fear after a while. But if we believe that it's not the cause of our fear, I mean, if we believe that we can overcome it, we will. It's
Okay.
not a
Thank you.
permanent
What?
problem.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your opinion. I don't know what about you, Mr. Farid or Mr. Mansour. What's your opinion about phobia?
Mr. Mansour, please go on.
Yeah, as our friend mentioned, I think phobia is a somehow, anxiety or somehow extreme fear from something. I think as I studied as I have searched in some, about this topic in some sites, it's somehow extreme fear. It could be somehow in a way irrational. I think when somebody has a phobia and when they face the phobia source, they they lose their control and they cannot act in the normal way. I think it could be somehow in a way, in some way. I think it could be irrational. I think I remember I remember a time when I was in Tabriz University. Some of my friends they rented a house. It was a basement. They claimed that during the night we are hearing or seeing some weird activities like crushing the kitchen stuff together. And I told them, let me, stay in your home and check the, kitchen. They went home. They went their home and to their city, and I stayed in the, I stayed at that home. I think for 2 nights, and I didn't hear or I didn't see anything, anything or like ghosts or weird, animals or nothing. I think it's somehow the source is illusion. I think it's not real.
Phobia?
Yeah, I think it's
Phobia.
illusion.
But
It's a mental problem. I think
the fear of, for example, hate. Phobia.
I think it's it's related to mental disorder. I think somehow, in my opinion.
Okay, have you experienced a phobia in your life?
To tell you the truth, actually, no. I have no phobia. I don't afraid of anything.
Okay, that's so good. And what about you, Mr. Farid?
Actually, sometimes when I want to give a speech in front of many people, actually sometimes I have a fear of speaking in front of people. I don't know, is it phobia or not? And sometimes I have a fear of hate. Okay,
Yeah.
is this called phobia? Am I right? Phobia
Yeah,
of
No, but
hate.
height phobia. Yeah, I think. Excuse me, but I think
height,
speaking in
height,
front
you mean?
Height
height
phobia.
means height phobia. I think it's yes, it is.
It is phobia.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is phobia. But speaking in front of people, I don't think it's. I think it's everybody's problem.
It's everybody's
At
problem.
most, I don't. Most of the people, problem.
So, yes, I think it. Do you have a height phobia, Mr. Mansour?
Basically, no. But somehow if I go somewhere without any, safety equipment, yeah.
Okay, so for my case, I have I suffer from the fear of speaking in front of many people, and even though I have been lecturing for 7 years. Okay, but when I want to talk in front of new people, strangers, or so many people, I suffer from the fear. I don't know how to overcome this phobia. If it is rational, Mr. Mansour, so we can overcome, yeah?
I think speaking in front of people, yeah, you can overcome. It's somehow it needs rehearsal. You have to participate or take part in a lot of sessions, and try to speak in the try to speak in the the in front of strangers. It could be improved.
I have been lecturing for 7 years, but for strangers, when I want to talk in front of strangers, I still have at the beginning I have some fear.
After all those experiences, Mr. Farid, I think at the beginning of the speech, I think it's somehow normal. After 3 or 4 minutes, it could be normal, and you can overcome the situation, and you could be relaxed and giving your speech normally without any fear.
Exactly. What about you, Mr. Mehdi?
Okay, thank you for sharing your opinion, but I disagree with both of you. I mean, Mr. Farid and Mr. Mansour, because you said you are stressed out when you want to make a speech in front of some people, student people. Yeah, but I think in fact you are stressed out, not you are suffering from phobia.
Exactly.
Phobia is according to Mr. Ali Raza's definition. Phobia is unreasonable, unreasonable fear, not, for example, being stressed when you want to give a speech or make a speech in front of some people. And also, yeah, that's it. And I believe that phobia is a problem, but I think, but it's not a big problem. I think for example, following some reasonable, some I don't know. For example, by following some I don't know, some solution. Yeah. For example, I think there are some solutions for overcoming this issue, and I think because it's related to your mind. So I think if you can change your mind against that issue, that, for example, you have unreasonable fear against it, I think it can be solved. And yeah, that's it.
Mr. Mehdi.
Yeah.
Excuse me. To inform you, I didn't say it's a phobia. I told Mr. Farid it's natural. Everybody has a stress when he is giving a speech in front of strangers. It's not phobia.
No, Mr. Mehdi confirm too.
I think you misunderstood me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay, and okay, Mr. Amir Raza, can you tell us about some solutions or some ways that, for example, could help people who are suffering from phobia, some ways that could help them to overcome that issue?
Yes, I mean, as you said earlier, phobia is related to our mind. It's not an external problem. It's related to our mind. And the only way to solve the problem is to believe in ourselves, to strengthen our mind. I mean, when you believe, really believe it, that you are, that something cannot hurt you, or that you're not afraid of something, then you will be able to overcome it. I mean, for example, when you're afraid of height, you just have to keep repeating in your mind that you will not be afraid anymore. And if you do that, I think you'll be able to overcome it. I mean, personally, I used to be afraid of closed spaces, where you can't there is no space where you can't escape, or for example a cave. But I tried hard to leave it. I tried hard to prove to myself that I could overcome it. And after a while, it took me, I think, about a year, but eventually I managed to overcome it. So I think it has everything to do with your mind, and I don't think there's any other solution to it.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, Amir Reza, what's your reaction if you see someone has phobia? What's your reaction?
Reaction.
Yeah.
I'll tell them to I say the same to them as what I said earlier. I mean, I tell them to believe in themselves, and I tell them to solve it and when they're alone, and how can I say it? I'll tell them to work it out by themselves, because no one can help you. I mean, the only one who can help you is yourself when it comes to phobias.
Okay, thank you. And you, Mr. Mansour, what's your opinion? Give us some solutions for helping people who are suffering from phobia.
Yeah, I think that based on the phobia category, we can explain the situation for the one he has a phobia of that event. If for example, if he has or he or she has a phobia of height, we can take him with myself. We can take him with myself to the height and explain to him that it has no fear, and you can overcome your fear. It has nothing has happened to you. You come up the height and nothing has happened to you. I think based on the the phobia category, it has some behavioral solution. I have been searching in the net, for the phobia treatment. It has, I think, both behavioral treatment and medication. In some categories, they have to refer to psychotherapists, and I think they might give them and medications. It has, I think, both solution: medication and behavioral therapy, explaining the situation.
Okay, so I think to some extent, do you believe one of the best solution for helping this group of people is encouraging them to overcome their issues practically?
Face the phobia and explain the situation. Somehow going with them to face the phobia. I think it could be helpful.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Mr. Farid?
As Mr. Mansour said, actually, I had a friend who had a phobia of traveling with airplane. Okay.
Dangerous, extremely dangerous.
Yeah, it is. And Mr. Mansour, it is sometimes very difficult to just tell you that you have to face the problem. Okay. But
it could lead to heart attack,
yeah. I tried to give him a sleep pill, a sleep pill, and it works. But actually, sometimes it is very difficult to overcome your phobia, and it depends on the kind of type of phobia, and it is sometimes very difficult. I think I know many people that never can overcome their phobia, even when they go to psychologists and so on. But so my answer is it depends on the kind of phobia.
Okay, thank you. Because I think for solving this issue at the first, as an ordinary person, I'm answering this question. I'm not an expert, so according to my knowledge, okay, I'm answering this question. But I think at the first, as you mentioned, it's better to find the roots, okay, the reasons, for example, roots of phobia, okay, phobia, the phobia, and after that, I think, for example, we could work on finding some solutions for helping that person. But I think the best way is seeing a psychologist, because they have knowledgeable, they have information how to help this group of people. But I disagree with, for example, to force people who are suffering this issue to face with it. For example, as Mr. Mansour said, for example, to face them for example, to force them to face it. And for example, if someone who is suffering from being in dark, I think it's wrong if we force him or her to face it, to stay in dark. Maybe because I believe maybe it could a bad thing maybe happens for that person. That's it.
Very good. Exactly. Actually, you have to find the root. It's a very good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Okay, and Mr. Amirza, in your mind, are all phobias irrational?
Some of them, I think, not all of them. For example, fear of heights or I don't know, fear of insects, it's reasonable, I think. I mean, some people are, they get a weird feeling when they see bugs or insects. And as for heights, I don't think it's unreasonable. I mean, it could be reasonable. It's in your mind, as I said. For example, when you go to a very high place and you look down, some people just get a feeling of extreme fear. They can't look down. Yes, I think it's reasonable. But some other phobias are unreasonable. I mean, I can't think of an example, but I think I had read about them before. I think some of them are just, not reasonable when you think about them. And a small percentage of people have them.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. I think you agree with me that many women or girls are afraid of lizards or cockroaches. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think it's the kind of phobia or no? It's a normal fear. Which one?
Because it's related to women, I think it could have something to do with genes, in their body. Because I haven't seen any men who are afraid of cockroaches. So I
Afraid
think,
of what? Excuse me. Afraid of what?
Cockroaches,
yeah.
Okay.
Lizard.
yes.
Indistus classified.
Okay. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your opinion. And what about you, Mr. Mansour?
Sorry, about what?
Are all
cockroach?
phobias irrational? Yeah.
No, rational. Yeah. As Mr. Amir Reza said, some of them I think they are irrational. Terrifying or afraid of darkness. I don't think it's good. It's a rational, phobia. It's irrational. It's somehow illusion. I think they think that there could be some, ghosts or some strange creatures. I don't think it's a rational phobia, but some of them, hydrophobia. I think it's a rational phobia. I think because when you are terrifying or afraid of water, it's somehow, in a way, I don't, verify it, but it could be rational. When we see some, bad accident in the sea or in the rivers, and some people, lose their life in that, or those river or seas, I think it could be rational. But some of them, no, they are not rational. I think they are irrational.
Okay, Mr. Mansour, as you said, in fact, in your mind, okay, for example, being afraid of water is irrational, yeah, but maybe for
hydrophobia.
Other people, but maybe it's not true about for other people. I mean, some people have had bad experience, bad experience, for example, about the water or something. So, what's your idea about this group of people? I mean, people who have experienced, okay, bad events, or bad.
Basically based on characters. I think the phobia changes from one people to another. I think it could be back to the the way of life or the environment that they are living in it. I think it's based off characters or the environment that the people are living in it. In some phobia for some of the people could be rational, simultaneously for others it could be irrational. Yes, depends on the character and the the place they are living in it.
Thank you, Mr. Farid left the group. So let me answer this question. As you mentioned, I think phobia is a generally irrational issue, because according to dictionary, phobia is unreasonable fear. So, as you mentioned, when most people are not afraid of, for example, being in a situation or experiencing something, but just a few people are afraid or fear of that, or being in that situation or experiencing that situation. So I think phobia is generally all phobias are generally irrational. So but as you mentioned it, I think this issue backs to, for example, people's experience. I don't know, people's environment, their family environment or something like that, or back to their personality. So but I disagree that, for example, we have there are some rational phobias, but and also irrational phobias. That's my idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and the next,
yeah, go on, please.
No, go on.
Go on. Can I add something?
Yeah.
I've been searching in my mind, and I think I missed, two of my phobias. I told you that I don't have any phobia, but when I search in my mind, I have two phobias. One of them is, I'm really afraid of, cemetery. Have any of you, by chance, experienced this phobia? And especially, the cemetery in our city, it has no light in the night, and it's really frightening for me. And another one, it's somehow plane phobia. I had a phobia from plane, but my phobia intensified when I watched a series. It's a famous series named Lost. I don't know, have any of you watched that series, Lost?
Yes.
Yeah, it really, watching that series, intensified my phobia of plane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Have you overcome your phobia yet or not?
Actually, to the cemetery, no. I still have that phobia, but the plane, I think, it's better now. It's better now, I think.
Okay, I have a good suggestion for you. I'll tell you later. And what about you, Mr. Mirza?
Text me, Mr. Mehdi.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
No, it's simple issue, okay? It's simple thing, and I think it's okay. I can tell you. Okay, Mr. Mirza.
I just remembered some of those phobias I said I couldn't remember back then. One of them is hemophobia, the fear of blood. I mean, I think irrational, really unreasonable. I mean, why would we be afraid of blood? There's no reason to be afraid of blood. And the other one is homophobia, I think, fear of homosexuals. I mean, I get that some people don't like homosexuals, but there's no reason to, be afraid of them. So I think that's also rational and reasonable. And
okay.
I want to say something else about the roots of phobia. I think it is related to your childhood, your subconsciousness. And when you are a child, for example, 2 or 3 years old, most of your fears come from then. I mean, you experience something and it becomes a fear or it becomes a behavior and it will become your, normal behavior when you grow up.
Yeah, you're
Definitely,
right.
definitely.
Okay, let me tell my experience.
All.
Oh, sorry. Go on. Okay,
Yes,
Mr. Amir,
that's all.
sorry. Okay. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, sorry for interrupting you. And okay, Mr. Mansour,
Yeah.
exactly like you, I was afraid of being in a cemetery, okay? But
Yeah.
many years ago, exactly in Muharram's nights, okay? At nights of Muharram,
Yeah.
so my friends and I went to a cemetery and we spoke together, we talked together and we enjoyed ourselves. Instead of being among people and morning we went there and I don't know, we talked to different issues and it was okay, the first night I was afraid a lot, being in a cemetery, okay, outside of my town, and it was a big cemetery, but it was okay. And after that, and nowadays I'm not afraid of being a cemetery. However, maybe I don't dare to go there. I don't dare go there lonely, okay, by myself. But
Yeah. The problem is, excuse me for interrupting you. The problem is going alone to the cemetery. If I have somebody with me, I don't have any fear. Going alone, I think it could be terrifying. But going with someone, I don't think. I have experienced it multi times. But being alone in the cemetery, I think somehow it could be frightening for me and for you too. I think you had your
but
experience.
I haven't experienced it going there by myself. But I don't know. Maybe I would be afraid. I would scare if I go there by myself.
Yeah. I hope so.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Amir, if I heard your voice correctly, you said one of your phobia is being afraid of God. Yeah, am I
Sorry,
right?
what?
What?
When you were talking, your voice wasn't clear enough, and I couldn't hear you correctly or clearly. Okay, but I think you said one of my phobia is being afraid of God. Yeah, am I right?
No, I said I used to be afraid of closed spaces, like
Ah,
caves. I didn't say anything about being afraid of God.
Yeah.
sorry. So I
Okay,
misunderstood you. Let's talk
okay,
about this issue if you like. In our
okay.
country,
Sure.
yeah, most people are Muslim. Yeah, are Muslim. In fact, our religion is Islam, and I think you agree with me that clerics. I like to scare ordinary people of God. Yeah, for example, God will punish you if, for example, do something wrong. What's your and nowadays most people, I mean, even religious people are afraid of God. In fact, they don't consider, they don't think God is generous and kind. It's true that every day we say God is big, God is generous, God is kind, yeah, God is forgive, something like that. But just we say them, but in fact we don't believe them from bottom of our heart. If you want to tell us, okay, tell me or share your opinion. In your mind, what is the root of that fear?
Okay. I think the root is the religion itself. You know, I mean, the whole foundation of religion comes from believing that there is a superior being that is watching over us and is, you know, seeing everything that we do, and it has a full control over our life and this universe. So when you believe in that being, that entity, you automatically start, you know, fearing them because they have more power than you. They can do things that you can't. So I think the real problem lies in the belief in religion. You know, I mean, if you don't believe that there is a God, if you don't believe in religion, then there is no reason to be afraid of God. You know, but in our country, yes, I agree with you. The reason that most of the people are afraid of God is because the clerics, you know, they keep saying that if you commit a crime, if you sin, you will be punished either in this life or in the next one. So people become afraid, and they think that they have to do whatever the clerics tell them, and that way they can control them. You know, they can easily influence their minds and their life.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Mr. Mansour?
I think the God, this God that our religion is to introducing to our nation, excuse me, it's a aggressive God, or someone who is ambushing that we commit a sin, and he's ambushing to, you know, penalize or punishing us. I think it's not a good way to introducing the God for our nation or our people, because scaring people scaring people not to commit a sin from the aggressive God. It's not. I think it's not a good way. I think we have to teach the nation the principle of morality. Teaching the principle of morality could be more useful than terrifying them from the aggressive God. But on the contrary, in other religions, I think they introduce the God as a generous, let me say, a creature or something. And on the contrary, in other religion, yeah, God is a generous, creature. But unfortunately, in our religion, I don't like this way of introducing the God to terrifying the people, or making them, not to commit a sin or something wrong. I don't like this way.
Yeah, in fact, I agree with you, but I like to disagree with. I like to say I disagree with Mr. Amirza, not completely, to some extent. You said generally religion is the root of fearing of God. Yeah, fearing of God. Even, for example, other religion. But let me tell you, maybe you have heard or you have read about it. Uh, I don't know. In the past, some psychologists made a research. Okay, in fact, they had requested little kids in Western countries to paint or draw God. Okay, God, and they had painted for some pictures, for example, sea. Okay, picture of sea, I don't know, mountain, flower, or something, or even their mothers, okay, their moms. But after that, they had requested sensing from children, little kids at the same age in Muslim countries. but they had painted, or they had painted the picture of God. For example, yeah, they had painted, or they had drawn. Yeah, let me check. I forgot. Yeah, drawn. Yeah, they had drawn, or drawn. Yeah, they had drawn, for example, some pictures like I don't know, fire, or I don't know, I know, ugly pictures, ugly things. And because in Western countries, I mean, children believe God is generous, God is kind, and for exactly for that reason, they drew pictures such as, for example, mountain, sea, flower, or mother. But in our country, just parents or clerics, as you said, fear. Okay, fear children with God. God will punish you. God will torture you, or something like that. What's your idea?
You know, what I said about religion is related. I meant, you know, the three major religions, the Islam and Christianity and Judaism. You know, those
Yeah.
religions that are really old. You know, from the old times. You know, for example, when the church had first appeared, those I don't know, clerics or the ones that are called fathers, they use the religion to gain fame and money, you know, and to control people. I mean, they told them, they kept telling them that God is watching over you, and you shouldn't sin, and you should listen to us, you know, and do what we want you to do. And from then on, they use that power, that influence on people, and to organize them, you know, to put them in control, to put them in groups, and rule over them. You know, something like what, something like an empire. You know, to rule over people who do whatever you say to them. But some religions, like for example, Buddhism, some religions like that, you know, they picture God as a peaceful creature, you know, a kind and an entity that, you know, how could I say it? It's not violent and that will not punish you, things like that. So yes, I think if you believe in those religions, the results will be different, you know, from our country.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely. Okay, Mr. Mansour, would you like to add something? Share your opinion.
No, thank you. I'm done.
Okay, I think we can continue. I'm free. I don't know what's your idea. We can continue, or we can end this session.
Up to you.
Yes, it's up to
No,
you.
You are
I'm
the
free, as
manager.
I said. No, I'm an alternative manager. I'm not. I know I'm free, and we can talk about this issue, and we can talk about, I don't know, another topic, or something like that.
I think
You can,
we
yeah.
had better you know, dismiss the session if you are if you agree with me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for sharing your ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you too.
a you know, fabulous night.
Thank you.
You
You
too.
too.
You're welcome.
Have a
Bye.
good night. Bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.